Okay, so here we go again. Playing with stuff. And what I have here is clear Elmer's glue, very clear, but still non-toxic, so they say. And I haven't actually eaten any to find out, but I'm um, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt because Elmer's glue has been traditionally non-toxic. And I have here a piece of paper that everybody knows is, this is like the expensive kind, right, of paper towels. It's you could cut it into rectangles, and it's just about worth $1 a little rectangle, about the same price as a dollar bill. But it's not very strong. I can rip it easily with my fingers. You've played with paper towels too, I'm sure. Okay, so, and this is a piece of balsa wood. You can, snap it in your fingers like this, and I'm not going to do that. I've already done that a few times, as you can see. And it's wearing a little bit of my lunch this morning. So we'll see what it does when you stain it. Maybe I'll sand some of that off a little bit first. Okay, and what we're going to do is put some Elmer's glue on my cleaned up piece of balsa wood here. And put a little bit of this paper towel around it. And let it dry, see what happens. And I'm going to put some Elmer's glue just between two layers of this. And then I'm going to say this other part, and this is what we call a control in a scientific experiment. So we can compare it against the non-treated paper towel. Okay, and you can see what happens when you tear a paper towel. If you don't tear it exactly right, it kind of shreds. So we'll go from there, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, the first step was to clean up my piece of balsa wood a little bit, and I smoothed off the edges, and we're getting ready to turn this piece of balsa wood into a piece of plastic by going like this. This is a very complicated chemical process. You guys pay attention. All right, see how complicated that was? And what I'm going to do is just simply lay it on this piece of paper here. And I want a little bit to come around the edge, probably a little bit more than that. And I'm doing it one-handed, of course, so maybe it'd be easier if I did it two-handed. Hold on. Okay, so here we go. We've got a 1 millimeter battery power 15%. Okay. Anyway, we'll put it in the regular light. 1 millimeter piece of balsa wood with thin paper towel around it, and it's going to dry like this, and I'll cut it out of there when it's done drying. And I'll just take a little of this and make a square up here maybe, or something, and I can put it on here, and it goes right through. Okay? There's no problem getting it to the other side. So we'll let that dry, and it'll peel right up off of there, no worries. And it won't rip, which is even better. And we'll be back. So still drying, and then I thought I'd talk about this one here for a minute. This is a stick, and I use them in my laboratory all the time for mixing things and poking things and picking things up and measuring things on the end. Look at that. That's a very accurate measurement because I can get a pile of whatever I'm putting in and pile it down there, and that's 3 millimeters wide. So if I make it, 2.5 millimeters wide, maybe. So if I make it a certain length here, I can get the same measurement pretty much every time. And the problem with these bamboo skewers is they break, and you go whoop, 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 and the point sort of shreds on you. So what I did was I sprayed this guy down with shellac, and the shellac in the can is about half acetone and half, excuse me, I got something biting my leg here. All right, so it's about half acetone, and so it soaks into the wood. And what I have here now is something that doesn't break so easily. I mean, I can break it, sure, but not easily. And I haven't really done much to this other than spray it with some shellac to see what happened. About 2 months ago, and I use it daily to mix and, do things. Hold on. So I do a little bit of chemistry, and I've got these fancy boxes that I use for holding my test tubes. And I can look at stuff and all of that. But what I do to mix this up is take my stick. Hang on. So anyway, I use the stick as a mixer, and I break things up with the point. And pretty good still. I mean, I've been using it for 2 months, and this end is a little rougher. This is how it was looking this morning, kind of rough, and it's got a little hemp seed oil on it. And this end I used a little bit of sandpaper on to see what would happen if I smoothed it off. Is it still gonna be waterproof and all of that? Well, I've been mixing that red stuff there, and you can't really see it too much. A little bit here, but that's like from months of mixing actually hemp seed oil, not red stuff. And the shellac is made out of the lignin and cellulose of bamboo. Okay, so boy, My phone can focus. I know it can because I fixed the screen with shellac. I mean the lens cover. Okay, so what we have here is the end that I sanded off, and it's nice and smooth, and the end that I didn't sand off, and it's kind of lumpy and stuff. But this is still waterproof and strong.
No animals out, please. I need everything.
So anyway, the gist is that the next step here is to spray a little shellac on these, and I want them to dry, and probably maybe overnight. I don't know. I'll see, because it dries pretty quick. The Elmer's glue does, but it's still wet. And there's a a point where it's dry, and then I can bend this, and it stays like it's, bent metal. And I want to look at that, play with that. Then I'm going to take some of this clear glue and mix it with a little shellac. I have some real shellac coming from Amazon tomorrow, so I might have to do a separate video. I'm gonna mix my own shellac up with just acetone, and then mix it with a little bit of this Elmer's glue. And we'll put it here in a square and see what it does. We can compare it against this with just glue, and this with the acetone and glue. And, and this with the piece of balsa wood in there. And I will spray it with shellac. And we'll see what it does. Because it's already made that piece of paper look pretty much like a piece of wood. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool.